All right, we are back with another $40 challenge. I got 40 bucks in my pocket and want to see how much money I can make. So I am off to a Goodwill to see what we can find. I don't know what this is, like a hot dog maker, but it's be pretty sick just to keep. Ellipticals are pretty solid, especially this time of year, but 150 is crazy. This is pretty cool back here. If anyone knows what this is, I'm not really sure. But it is expensive. All right, we're out of here. There was some nice stuff in there, but man, I don't know what it is. Goodwill prices the last couple of years are crazy. I can't justify paying that much for that stuff. All right, second Goodwill. I'm only allowing myself 2 Goodwill, so we got to find something here. I haven't done a bike in years, but this one is pretty shot. The tires are basically rotting away. Yeah, this might be our guy right here. It's almost grilling season. It's a Weber, which is a great brand. It just needs, honestly, just needs some paint. It's kind of faded, but Webers are a good brand, and it's only 14 bucks. So we'll grab this guy. Yeah, I'll meet you out back. Do you guys need help loading it?
I think we got it.
Okay, cool. I'll drive around back.
It's gonna be on 2, and then we'll see you on the back.
All right, man. Thanks for your help. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize today that green tags were only $2, so we're all in for $2. Well, that was pretty cool. I guess you can't beat $2, so I take back what I said about the pricing, but it does need some TLC, so I am off to Walmart to get some spray paint, and let's jazz this guy up. I will say, surprisingly, Walmart does have the best selection when it comes to spray paint. So what we need is this guy right here, just a flat black high temp spray paint. Also, I need a good textured spray paint for the sides. And this one right here is a pretty close match. All right, 18 for the 2 cans of spray paint, so we're sitting pretty so far. All right, here's a quick before video before we get to work on this guy. We'll probably start with sandpaper and spray paint. So when it comes to spray paint, the better you prep the surface, the better the paint will turn out. So I always start by sanding down the surface. And before we paint, I want to remove the grates inside and clean them up real quick. They're really dirty, as you can tell. I want to cover some of the burners here. Don't want to get water in there, which I don't think it matters, but just to be safe. Then we'll take our pressure wash and just try to remove as much of the dirt and grease as possible. For anyone out there who has cleaned the inside of a grill, it's impossible to ever make it look new again, but we'll do the best we can here. Also, I'm not going to use any sort of spray paint inside the grill. Even though it is high temp proof, you don't want to mix that stuff in with your food. So we're just going to use spray paint on the outside. So now back to the paint. We're going to use some rubbing alcohol and wipe down the surface. This allows for your spray paint to bond a lot better. Never hurts to throw some on. We'll let it dry, and then we'll tape around the edges, just using some masking tape here that I had laying around the house. And again, the better you prep, the better the final product will look. So it never hurts to go the extra mile. We're going to grab our high temperature spray paint and apply the first coat. Also, this high temperature spray paint is really easy to use. It pretty much acts like its own primer, but it will dry more of a matte black, which I think will look good as a good contrast with the glossy front and the matte black sides. Now we're going to switch over to the little side panel. Going to apply some rubbing alcohol again, and then apply this textured spray paint that we got. And we'll come back to this. It's just the first coat. We're going to also hit the sides here. We want the entire thing to match. But I do have an idea for the front handle. I don't know if I want to use the tan up there. I think it's too much tan. So I'm going to try something out and see how it works. It looks pretty messy right now, but just trust the process. Once it's done, this thing is really going to pop. We'll pull off some of the covers, and now we're going to work on that front handle I was talking about. I didn't mind the gray color that it was, but now it won't match the tan on the sides. And again, I think the tan on the front would be too much tan. So what I want to do here is use a glossy black color. I think the glossy front with the glossy frame will really complement the tan sides. Now I'm going to grab that metal plate from the bottom, clean it the best we can. I have this grill cleaner right here, like a degreaser. And it doesn't look perfect, but does look a lot better than it did before. And honestly, the worst part of this entire project was getting the Goodwill sticker off the front. I used the rubbing alcohol, Goo Gone, and dish soap, and I could not get this off. It took me probably 20 minutes to finally get this thing to look decent. But anyway, here is the before shot. It was just dirty, old, and rusted. And here we have her now. Let me know what you guys think. Kind of went with the more sleek black look. I really do like the black and tan combo on this. I think it pops. Even at nighttime, it shines. But now that it looks good, we need to test this out and see if this thing even works. And thankfully, this thing lit up within 3 seconds. We're all done. The grill looks good and it works good. And this was honestly a pretty simple job today. We lucked out on the price, only paid $2 for it, which is really cool. We paid $18 for spray paint, so it takes us up to an even 20 bucks. I would say the time we spent on this total, I'd say we spent an hour shopping for it and an hour and a half on painting and cleaning. So all in for 20 bucks, 2.5 hours of time. I'm seeing these on Marketplace go anywhere from $175 to $275. So we'll just call it $225. So again, 2.5 hours of work to make 200 bucks profit. Not a bad gig. Also, I want to say real quick that it is a really rewarding feeling giving this stuff a second life. I mean, this was just kind of rotting in the back of the Goodwill corner. So to take it home and give it a second life is a really cool feeling. So whoever buys this, I hope you enjoy it. And let's go find them a home.